Namaste, soul family. It's Sky Goddess here to enlighten the message, the Illuminator, true Illuminati. Okay, so I said I was gonna talk about um sacrificial offerings, and I feel like in another video I'm gonna talk about um people whose God cursed fates and cursed destinies, and I wait, which video did I talk about that in? I talked about that in, okay, that video that I did yesterday, Pluto, that would have been October 4, Pluto retrograding in Capricorn, um, painful truths, uncovering painful truths. I think that was it, uncovering painful truths, something like that. But it's something about painful truths because that's pretty much the focus for the Pluto retrograde in Capricorn. Okay, I did briefly also talk about people having cursed destinies and cursed fates, and this has a lot to do with what these people did in their previous incarnations, as well as previous Saturn cycles. Okay, so that could also include this this incarnation, but the things they did before, maybe before their Saturn return, or before a Saturn cycle closed off. Okay, and those are different time spans, different durations. um but in this one, I want to talk about the industry and cursed, not cursed, and sacrificial offerings. That's what I want to talk about. I was just jotting that down, and so I was pretty much reading what I was writing. Okay, thinking out loud. So I want to talk about sacrificial offerings. A lot goes on behind the scenes that a lot of people are oblivious to. But like, for someone who is very sensitive to frequencies and energies, someone who's an intuitive like myself, we see beyond the veil of illusions. Okay, and so what a lot of people, they do not know is that a lot of these celebrity women are barren, they are infertile, they cannot bear children. And there was this whole buzz years ago of this international performer, musician, performer, let me just say performer, because like, I'm so technical about things. When I say a musician, I mean someone who is very well gifted in the musical arts. Okay, and a lot of these international, especially the female international musician, female performers, they're not real musicians. They can sing, but they are disconnected from their feelings. Some of them, they do have experiences, but they are numb to them experiences, and it's not, they're not able to pen these experiences, which is to say, write their songs, their own songs. And so a lot of them, even though you may see on their, in their album descriptions that they are co-writers, they didn't write shit. Okay, they may tell people what they want in songs, and that writer, that ghostwriter, has to pull on their own personal life experiences to kind of like create an analogy, or to, which would be the background of that song, but they didn't write shit, I'm telling you. Okay, and the truth is, a lot of these women, they are numb to the Cancer frequency, which is the intuitive aspect of us, that sensitive emotional aspect that we use to pull on to be able to be creative. And that too is a main reason why they are un- no, they're incapable of writing their own, penning their own lyrics, their own songs. Okay, so they are unfruitful in a genius sense, a mental sense. They're infertile in a procreational sense. And like I was saying, there's this big international performer who years ago there was this buzz that when she said she was pregnant with her first child, well, not her first child because she claimed to have had many miscarriages, which were abortions. She There was this whole uproar and buzz that she was not indeed pregnant and she did have a surrogate mother, which that is true. Okay, because she is unable to give to conceive and to give birth. Okay, you got to be able to conceive to be able to give birth. Okay, and a lot of these celebrity women you hear getting pregnant, giving birth to babies, not all of them, a lot of them, these babies you see them parading with, these babies are babies from surrogate mothers. Now, it's so absurd the lengths that people go through to cast illusions. Okay, because what these women they've done, they've sacrificed their wombs for their careers. Like I said, I think I made briefly mention this in the previous video about Rihanna being mad jealous of Kendall Jenner. They constantly get knocked up, okay, and abort these babies as sacrificial offerings. Sometimes they do sacrifice family members, sometimes they sacrifice relatives, sometimes they sacrifice so-called friends. And why I say so-called friends is because, like, for me, someone cannot really be your friend. You cannot really be someone's friend and harm them. That's ludicrous, that's illogical, that's crazy. Okay, so when they got nobody else to sacrifice, or the people around them, they're not willing to sacrifice them to boost their careers, they get knocked up and they sacrifice them babies by aborting them. And over time doing that, they eventually become barren, infertile. Okay, now one of the reason why this particular it's not just her but a group of them has been trying to manipulate me getting my time on the wheel of fortune, which is why everything is at a a standstill. You know, people, they can't, these entertainers, these performers, they can't even perform that much right now because of the COVID-19 pandemic. And hell yeah, I am that special. I don't have to have a posse. My posse, well, I don't have to have a physical human posse. My posse, they're spiritual. I got spiritual goons. I don't need to, have a whole bunch of people around me who are useless. They can only help me so far and no more. My spiritual goons, they help me in every way, shape, and form. All the way. And they've been trying to keep me out of the industry because it was prophesied that I would expose them. But that's a paradox. And why it is a paradox is, in you trying to hide yourself, you expose yourself. And so pretty much this goes back to the saying, fear is the only thing to fear. Because in fearing, you manifest your fears. Okay? And so you shouldn't fear anything. You should be fearful of fearing anything. You should be fearful of fear, because it is fearing that manifests these fears, them fears. And so that's the paradox. Okay? So in trying to stop me from taking my place on the wheel, you manifest the prophecy of me unveiling, uncovering, exposing. And that's why I said that about Azalea Banks. Okay? There's a restriction from her, a restriction for her to go too close into the industry. And so she's at a point, or she's at a standpoint, a vantage point where she has advantage of seeing certain things, but from a distance, okay? Because she's got a lot of planets retrograding, and she can see a lot of things, especially in the industry, especially in her, line of job or line of work. A lot of toxicities, a lot of, toxic, cruel, wicked, manipulative energies. She can see that. And she's not that we have the same aspect, but a similar purpose, because they've been like blacklisting her. She's able to see so much, uncover so much. Why am I being blacklisted? Why are these people hating on me? Why are they fighting against me? It has nothing to do with my mouth or me having said this in the past. It's because like so many other, celebrities and entertainers said this and that, and they weren't blacklisted. Why? That's because my purpose is to uncover certain things about these motherfuckers and expose them. That's why. That's why I was blacklisted. That's why. Rejection is not denial. It just means that you got to look closer. There is something more for you to understand and learn. Or wait. Wait, let me get these piece of shits out of the way. Because they're not even the real Illuminati. They're not the true holders of the light. They're not the true occult. They know they're gonna fall. And that's why they didn't want us to have any, level of power. But in doing that, they give us the power. They feed us their energies. And in doing that, we're able to read into their energies and expose them. Now I explained what it means to sell one's soul. I've said that many times. It's doing unethical things to attain wealth. It's not to attain comfortability or peace, because that's conflict of interest. Okay, doing something unethical cannot bring about comfort or peace. Okay, that's quite contrary from the truth. Okay, and so a part of amongst these unethical things, I should say, is the sacrificial babies. Some of these people, they actually sacrifice their own children that they've given supposed birth to and bred, and they actually sacrifice them or grew or grew. Okay, they sacrifice them. There's some of these children who these surrogate mothers give birth to. They sacrifice them. All of a sudden, these children, they get ill. I mean, like, that's nature, life and death. But in this sphere, in this world of entertainment, you got to question a lot of things that happen. And the earlier they get in the game is the earlier they die, unless they make much sacrifice. Unless they offer many sacrificial offerings. And that means a lot of death. It's transformation. That's Pluto frequency. That's what we're still on. Pluto retrograding in Capricorn. This also includes sacrificial offerings to boost one's career. That's also being unveiled and uncovered right now. The true intuitives, the true astrologers, they know and they understand. A lot of deep, rotten truths are making, their way to the surface. That's Pluto retrograding in Capricorn, and this is coming to an end tomorrow, October 6th. But if it is even the final hour, the truth will come to life. The truth will come to light. Because the truth is life. And therefore, it will come to light. You cannot hide it. Everything that's hidden in darkness must one day, 1 hour, one minute, 1 second come to light. Those who truly got the power, buried power, people have been hiding our powers or gifts and abilities. That's surfacing during the retrograde. People are really seeing now who's really got the power. And I'm not talking about people's net worths. I'm talking about being able to speak and it manifests. Creative destruction. Being able to come back after a setback. Rebirth. Having our perceptions cleansed and cleared. The unveiling of mysteries. Solving mysteries. Tapping into deep-rooted memories buried long ago, and revealing the truth behind the memories, which are very much connected to a lot of us, or psychology, psychoanalysis, the study of the unconscious mind, understanding why we got PTSD, where it stems from, or childhood, past connections, transforming, making that great transformation and taking the stage as we rightly deserve. The uncovering of nasty, rotten, jealous emotions and hatred and evil within the bloodline, the family systems, your relatives, sicknesses that have been buried for years, months, they're being unveiled. Getting a closer look at painful lessons. Seeing the opportunities that really are at hand and really are available. Unveiling deceit and curses. The truth behind people's wealth. The truth about inheritances. A lot of us, we've got inheritances that people, they seemingly stole. They used some of our inheritances. They spent some of them been using our monies to build houses and to finance their lives and all of that, unbeknownst to a lot of us. Some of us, we do know, and these people, they think we don't know. That's my money you're using to expand on your house, to build your house, and you're flaunting that in my face, and you're using my money, and you think I don't know. I know that's my inheritance, and you're trying to kill me to cover up the fact that you got an inheritance for me, You forged my name and you stole that and you're spending it. And you're trying to spit in my face with what's mine. And now curses are coming upon you. Now I'm seeing why you got a cursed destiny and a cursed fate. So the truth is coming out behind a lot of people's wealth and a lot of people's monies. A lot of these people have been sacrificing people, family members, relatives, so-called friends, colleagues, associates. Okay? Unborn children, live children, okay? Children they've given birth to. Wanting to adopt people's children so they can sacrifice them children. I spoke about that, so-called sister overseas who was talking about she wanted to adopt my children. I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with me? Nothing is wrong with me. I'm convinced that something is wrong with all y'all because you're acting so fucking so weird in your shadow selves that it's just so obvious that you're up to no good. I don't abuse my children. I never abuse my children. Now y'all told, the police lies on me. The justice system lies on me. You went to the courthouse in your shadow selves and you told all kinds of lies because you wanted to manipulate our lives and my inheritances and my Jupiter. You held on to my children because you paid someone to kill me and you want me to die. And you want my children to die as well to use them as a scapegoat, as a sacrifice for all the bullshit you've carried on with. And a lot of people, once this Pluto retrograding Capricorn comes to an end, they're gonna feel so fucked up and ashamed that they did all them shit, that they were so conniving, so manipulative, so low, so much of scums. Like, I got the prophecy that these people, they're not a part of my destiny. They're not supposed to reap in the blessings to come because they're not worthy. And they got a cursed destiny because of all that they've done. And it's not just during the Pluto retrograding Capricorn. It's been for years, ever since I was a child. And I spoke briefly about, having a very toxic, dysfunctional mother in Pluto retrograding Capricorn video I uploaded yesterday. The painful truth. Okay, something of that kind. And like I said, some of these mothers, they're incapable of loving. They sacrifice their children. And that's not you respecting your role as a Cancer frequency, a mother. You're supposed to be nurturing and loving and caring. But that doesn't destroy me, because how one treats me does not have anything to do with me as a person. That speaks volumes of their character and who they are. Being such a light source and energy field of beautiful frequencies, I attract moths and dark entities who have no light within them, who wants to feed off of my light. And that's why when people say, oh, something's wrong with you, why you keep attracting toxic beings, I'm like, you have no fucking sense. You know what you are. You're nothing but a dweeb. That's what I say. Yeah, you're a dweeb to even think that. Who you are has nothing to do with how people treat you. Nothing. It all has to do with, or to deal with, how they feel about themselves, how they perceive life, how they feel about life. That Cancer frequency is still on that. Now everybody wants a cure for COVID, But if even if there, comes about a cure, there's going to be another virus to cause another pandemic, because it's time for people to suffer from the frequency they've given so much of their energies to, Capricorn frequency. But what people don't know, there's a downside to that Capricorn frequency: death, sickness, restrictions, hardships. Yeah, it brings money, but it brings death, curses, restrictions, diseases, sicknesses, yeah, hardships. And so that is why I've been telling people to transcend to higher frequencies. It is important to be balanced, because once you are balanced, the Cancer cancels out the negative factors and aspects of that Capricorn frequency. Some people, once they rise, and it's pretty much a responsibility for all of us, is to help people. Once we get to a certain place, you received help, you need to reciprocate that help. And they're so hateful, they refuse to help people because they're so hateful and jealous. They want to always be in the spotlight. They always want to be on the stage. They don't want to give anybody else a chance. And so they become very unfavorable to nature. A lot of them, they lose their beauty. They lose their charm. They lose their comfortability. They start becoming very ill. And that's because they have no love. They are so addicted to money. They're so addicted to that Capricorn frequency. And they curse themselves in that frequency. They restrict themselves in that frequency. Cancer is also movement, the flow. It's a flow. It's not the flood, but it's a flow. Whether it's a woman's monthly cycle, menstruation, or it is the flowing of the rivers and the seas. Or it's traveling over water, but it's a form of flow. And so it's opposite. It's similar to Jupiter in that sense. Flow helps to expand you and gives you a sense of freedom, which makes you comfortable, hence comfortability. It makes you favorable to nature, very beautiful. Because you got love, care, and concern, solicitude. But once you get so tied to your reputation, so bound to your wealth, your net worth, all you care about is accumulating a whole bunch of money because you want to spit in people's faces, you want to spite your exes, you want to spite people who don't like you, your haters, to say, look bitch, look ninja, I got all this dough. You're just spiting yourself because you're ridding yourself of comfort, of love, of healing, of flowing. And that's why I say, not because people, they are wealthy and they got millions, billions, or trillions of dollars. That don't mean that they're happy. That don't mean that they're comfortable. It just means they got a lot of money. It is what it is. Just as you see them, that's how they are. That's all there is. That Capricorn is concrete. There's nothing beneath that but more concrete. In that Cancer frequency, that water, there can be concrete. There can be fishes, Pisces, peace of mind. Okay? There can be, all kinds of, elements. Okay? Because water is a solvent. It's also a medium. And that's where mediumship comes from. That Cancer frequency, Sun in Cancer, Pisces rising. a medium, an intuitive. And that's why I said somewhere in that video about, the one part to this one, um, a lot of my life experiences, they were really to teach me to trust my intuition, which is Pisces rising. I'm very intuitive because that is Sun in Cancer, the medium. I am the medium. I can channel messages. I don't have to read cards. I don't have to read the astrological aspects. The messages just come to me through epiphanies, downloads, spiritual downloads. Just come to me like a thought. And that's why I say it's kind of like the Sun in Virgo, the hermit. Someone who isolates themselves because I gotta be by myself so I can hear. And that's why when they would ask me, I think someone asked me this recently. I typed that. I don't know if I eventually sent it to that person. But the truth is, to first be able to transcend is to stop talking so much. I mean, like, it's not like me teaching. I mean, like, stop entertaining so many people and isolate yourself. I don't think I did send that because I thought it was me being too blunt. But that's the truth. And once you do, you will start hearing a whole lot of truths. And you will start seeing these truths too manifest before your eyes. You'll be able to see beyond the veils of illusion. A part of the Pluto retrograde in Capricorn is, revisiting certain harsh life experiences too. It's kind of like that Saturn retrograde. Is that, Saturn, Saturn, that's Capricorn. Okay? And I had that whole speech impediment thing that I had to deal with again. Okay? A lot of what I experienced even from a child, I had to experience it again. And that's why I'm so happy that it's coming to a close. I don't have to revisit certain hurtful, painful, dark experiences. I can actually feel so much more relieved. As we're coming out of the retrograde, the Pluto retrograding in Capricorn. I'm feeling a form of relief. And then coming up Sunday, I believe it is Sunday, Saturn also goes direct, new life experiences and lessons. Everything may seem so chaotic and random, but they're not. Everything is divinely orchestrated. And if you are wise, you will see the connections. The way I'm seeing the connections and more. Because I don't know everything, but I know enough to know that everything is divinely orchestrated. The moon enters Libra today. Okay. And of course, we got that Libra new moon tomorrow. So tomorrow is so special. The month of October, the 10th month, is so special because, I mean, like, 10/10, the 10th of October, which, Saturn goes direct into Aquarius. And Saturn is the 10th frequency. Well, Saturn rules the 10th house. Capricorn is the 10th frequency of the zodiac. 10/10, and that's like tower moment. Towers crumbling down. All shit's coming to an end. And you've been through it. You've been going through it a lot of hardship. That's gonna end, man. And there's nothing anybody can do to stop that. Going through hardships, that's gonna end, man. That has to come to an end. It has to. And like I said, I think that was in April, May. The roles are going to be swapped. You've been having a good life, that's going to change, man. It's for real. And I'm not going to say that indefinitely, but it's going to get harder for you. You've been having life quite easy in a certain way in regards to your finances, your wealth, because that's Capricorn frequency. That's going to change. Okay? No shade. That's the truth. Especially if you weren't nice to people when you were on the Wheel of Fortune. You didn't extend a helping hand. You were very selfish. Now I'm gonna wait. Okay? I'm gonna wait for my, 10-10 on Sunday for, things to shift. But we got the new moon, which is gonna be in, the frequency of Libra during Libra season. Look at that. And then we're gonna have the full moon in Libra season. Yeah, in Libra season. In Aries. That's, Libra's counterpart. A new beginning, a brand new beginning. That's beautiful. I'm gonna be talking about that them aspects in another video. I don't want to really get into depths because this is like I said about sacrificial offerings, but one thing led to another. So a lot of truths coming out during this retrograde. Like everything is so profound and articulately orchestrated. I mean, like, we're in Libra season that synchronizes with the 10th month. Okay, which is a fellow cardinal frequency to Capricorn, Libra, Capricorn, Aries, Cancer. Yeah. And we're gonna, tomorrow's the, new moon in Libra. And then we got Saturn, which is, ruled by cardinal frequency Capricorn, having its 10-10, October 10, moving into Aquarius, sudden changes. Because a life cycle, a Saturn cycle has been completed and we're going forward, man. Moving on from the past. Because we've been revisiting past experiences. Now we're done with that. And, Sunday's going to seal that off. And then within the same month, we've got the Aries full moon, which is Libra's counterpart. Also a fellow cardinal frequency. Y'all see the synchronicities here? I hope you all see the synchronicities. Okay? Everything is divinely orchestrated. And that's what I mean. And of course, you got Jupiter going direct and retrograde going, Mercury going direct out of its retrograde on the same day. And that's the same day that the moon enters Aries. Man, I need to talk about these aspects, man. I need to talk about these aspects. Okay? I don't think I'm gonna do a reading, an intuitive reading in terms of using the cards, but of course these are gonna be pure downloads and information coming from spirit through my intuition. Okay, I'm gonna talk about what the moon in Aries and these aspects for this month are gonna really mean for us all. So I'm gonna be doing a general overview. I'm not gonna do frequency by frequency. No, I'm just gonna do a general thing. I might touch on some of the frequencies. Might. Okay? I don't really think I do want to touch on them, but I might. Yeah. So yeah, I'm gonna leave that there. You know, I might have a second video for this sacrificial offering, you know, business. But there's a lot that goes on, and sometimes even some of these children who, you know, go missing. A lot of these celebrities, and not just these celebrities, but wealthy, you know, business owners, entrepreneurs, like, you know, heads of these corporate 500 companies, a lot of them are sacrificing children for their businesses to boom. Like, I also wanted to say, sometimes you see some of these young celebrities, you know, they just, bam, they just jump onto the scene, and all of a sudden they got, you know, they're viral. Like, let's say, for example, you know, because like some of these people, they come into certain knowledge of, you know, of how to attain certain stuff, and they use these, you know, information to their advantage, at the disadvantage of others, but you know, they deem it, you know, usable and ethical in their own twisted, fucked up minds. But you know, let's say for example, you see if a young upcoming, it doesn't have to be someone who's really young, artists, you know, a lot of times they are young, they just jump onto the scene like early 20s, you know, late 19 and stuff like that, late teens and stuff. All of a sudden they put out a video, and it's like within a day or two they are like at 10 million views, or within a week or 2 weeks they're like at, you know, 20 million views. If you look at a lot of these young girls, how they all of a sudden they just start getting larger in their, you know, body mass, it's a sign, especially now, it's not a good time. Like, there's never a good time to do unethical shit, but especially now, because it's a very karmic period, like I said, with the first year, you know, being in Cancer. Okay, it's just not a good time right now for people to be, you know, cruel, because this season, what's gonna fucking save you is being caring and loving. That's what's gonna save. That's the only thing that's gonna save you from hardship, from curses, from restrictions, from judgment. Yeah, that's what's leading this 12-year cycle. And so these young girls, these older women in the industry, they're teaching them to make the same mistakes that they made, do the same fuckery that they did, which is to get knocked up and sacrifice them babies. And pretty soon, a little from this, they won't be able to have children, because them playing with their wombs is going to cost them their wombs. You don't abuse anything, Capricorn frequency. That's abusing your womb for wealth, Capricorn frequency. For prestige, for reputation, for your career, for your job, for fame, for fortune. And so I've seen a lot of them locally and internationally, how, you know, they be really thin and so on, and it's not, don't tell me it's comfort. I know being addicted to comfort is where your dreams go to die, but it's not comfort. Okay, it's not comfort that, you know, kills your dreams. It's the addiction to comfort, okay, or the addiction to manipulate your ability to procreate, which is, you know, me coming back to the sacrificial offering and shit. They'd be so thin and so trim, slim, thin and trim, and all of a sudden they start bloating up. And that's because of what they engaged in. And when you don't respect that Cancer frequency and love your body and love your baby, which you're not going to sacrifice your baby for your reputation or your job, your career. Babies will bless your bodies in return. Now, a lot of women, they may not agree with me, but it is what it is. A lot of women, you know, they lose their attractiveness once they get knocked up or pregnant, blah blah, and that's because you don't like being a mother. That's the honest truth. You can hate me for saying that, I really don't care. That's the truth. Once you love being a mother, you're passionate about being a mother and being a nurturer, child's birth will be a blessing to you and for you. It will bless you with beauty. There are women out there, believe it or not, the more they conceive and give birth to babies, the more beautiful they become. Child's birth, pregnancy make these women beautiful and more ideal. And that's because Cancer frequency, that's beauty. That's charm. That's grace. Capricorn is money, but it's ugly. Yeah, Capricorn is ugly. It is the truth. Capricorn is ugly. And that, you know, that's going to take me on to curses, cursed destinies and fates. Because Capricorn is a curse. Yeah, Capricorn is a curse. It restricts you. Okay? But that Cancer frequency allows you to flow and go, like Jupiter. That's why I said Jupiter in Cancer is a very favorable aspect to possess. Jupiter in Cancer is not the same as Moon in Sag. It is not. It is kind of, to be honest, kind of an opposite. Because, like, it's really technical, it's really astrological. Like, the moon and the sun, they are inverse to each other. One rules the day, one rules night. Sun in Sag is favorable. Jupiter in Cancer is favorable. Not Moon in Sag. Sun in Cancer is favorable. Sun in Sag is favorable. Not Moon in Sag, not Moon in Cancer. Well, nah, I'm not going to say that about Moon in Cancer. Nah. I'm not going to say that about Moon in Cancer. But it can be detrimental. It depends on the other aspects, okay? But like I said, the sun and the moon, they're inverses. The moon in Cancer, that is like you being at a crossroad. And the other aspects in your natal chart will determine whether you're going to make the right turn or the bad turn, which we could say in this case the left turn. Not saying that the left is bad, but just using an analogy, okay? So that's that, because the moon is in its frequency, okay? And so pretty much it's neutral. That's the word I'm trying to get at. It's neutral. Yeah. And so the other aspects in your natal chart surrounding that aspect will determine whether or not that's going to be to your favor, yes or no. But sun in Cancer, that's a favorable placement to have. Sun in Sagittarius, okay? But not moon in Sag. Because moon in Sag, that's like a sun in Capricorn. And that's something that I need to get at, okay? Okay? Sun in Capricorn, year of the rooster, Capricorn North Node, and Capricorn rising. Okay? Sun in Taurus, okay? So there are certain aspects that I want to talk about. And it's not to say these people are cursed. Certain aspects are not, is according to nature, beauty personified. Okay? And that's why, you know, in that sense, they're considered a restrictive, form of beauty, and a curse that makes someone unfavorable to nature. There are other aspects that goes with them, aspects that I just listed, which I will speak about in another video, like I said. Okay, y'all hear the rain? But of course, if like someone they've got Capricorn highly aspected, and they got other aspects that counteracts that Capricorn, it might kind of, you know, make them, it might kind of like cancel out that unattractive aspect that the Capricorn frequency brings. Okay, so there's a lot to consider, a lot to understand. It's your overall natal aspects that one has to look at. Okay, yeah. But like for someone who's got a lot of Capricorn, you know, like Capricorn trine, then they're not going to be that attractive. That's the honest truth. And we can very much say that person, they do have a cursed destiny beyond the shadow of a doubt, because they have way too many restrictions around them. And so you're not going to flourish well with that person, especially if you tie the knot with that person. Okay, so I'm going to talk about that. That's it for sacrificial offerings for now. Thank you guys for listening, and namaste.